Welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin. I garden in Northwest Connecticut, Zone 6A, they're saying now. I think sometimes we're still a 5B. You asked questions, so I'm going to answer. One of the things that people wanted to know, I've mentioned quite a few times, that I am adding more and more evergreens to my property, taking away some things, maybe some perennials, not doing as many annuals, just depending on how much maintenance a particular plant requires. I'm trying to make things a little easier for myself as I get older. So what am I looking for when I'm adding evergreens? I'm looking for color, I'm looking for texture, I'm looking for width, height, I'm looking for different shapes. So I'm going to walk you around. Somebody specifically asked me for the small ones. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on, is evergreens that will stay small. That way you can add them to your property, whether you have a large or a small space. And there are a lot of the small evergreens that you can actually put in containers also. And I've had some that are in containers and some I've now put into the, into the ground. But a great way to add some evergreen interest. Again, you know me, winter interest. The nice thing with evergreens is they're a great backdrop for your perennials and your annuals and your containers all year round. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like button. It really does make a difference. I really appreciate it. I'll try and bring you along for highlights during the season, things that are happening. Right now, I've got my greenhouse and my hoop house are completely full of plants, lots of seeds starting going on, but the weather's still going kind of up and down, so I'm really only planting out some perennials, but very little planting at this point. So stick around and we're going to do that. And also somebody asked me about the Salix Hakoro Salix Hakoro Nishiki, sorry. And I've cut that back completely for the last 2 years. I have 4 of them. And yes, they are going to grow like crazy. So be careful where you put it. It likes damp conditions, moist ground. Mine, that's why I have them where I have them, because the ground there is consistently gets water runoff. So just be smart where you're actually putting them, because even if you cut them back to keep them control size, like height and width, they're going to just still grow and explode. So, plan carefully where you're going to put them. So let's take a walk around, and I'm going to show you some of these some of these new evergreens that I've been putting in, mostly last year, and I've got a few really baby ones that I've already put in the ground this year. Most of them are from Isley Nursery or Conifer Kingdom, just FYI. So let's go check it out, and thank you again for watching. So best laid plans. I didn't get to finish my video that I started the other day. So let's go walk around and look at some nice small size evergreens that you can fit into your yard, whether you have a container or a really small space or a really large space. First up is the Gembox Inkberry Holly, zones 5 through 9, a really nice dwarf broadleaf evergreen, nice alternative to a boxwood. It stays, like that dense ball shape. You can trim it however you want. Good branching, doesn't look bare, could go in a container. Really nice 3x3. Right behind it is a Coraldo Hinoki Cypress, and I have these in a few places around the yard. Zone 5 can get 4 feet high by 8 feet wide. Again, you could trim it. Bright golden yellow sprays of foliage, great ground covering mound, sun to partial shade, and I have it here in the front with some peonies, some tough stuff hydrangeas, rose, poet's wife, got some nice tulips, Negrita doubles still blooming. Here I have a dwarf Serbian spruce called Nana, zones 4 through 7. Very slow growing dwarf evergreen with a really nice conical form, short, dense, glossy dark green needles. The underneath has white bands, which is really kind of cool. It's got an egg-shaped cone. Here I have it right next to some tulips in front of some red twig dogwoods. The tulips are Slough and Paul Shera. And right next to it, I have another spruce. This is called Tidy Tim, Oriental Spruce, Picea orientalis. And this was in a container until recently, till this year. Zone 4, nice globe shape, full sun. Gets about 4 by 4 or so. Really nice dark green needles. And like I said, really nice globe shaped habit. Has small tan buds. Against those tiny, dark, tiny needles. Very pretty. Now the lemon thread branch cypress, Chamaecyparis piscifera, zone 4 through 8. I think it really needs to be controlled for size. It's supposed to get like 3 to 5 feet tall and 2 to 4 feet wide. I find it gets much bigger, and every year I have to keep it in check. But great winter interest, great color with that chartreusey colored cord-like, branches, but very airy, ferny branches, slow growing, semi-dwarf, very shrubby, and like I said, the bright yellow thread-like foliage, which is really pretty in the wintertime. A new one for me is this Thuya arborvitae called Linesville. Zones 3 through 7 should get like 3 by 3. Really pretty blue foliage color, like sun to part shade. Nice rounded habit. Nice slow growing. Likes moist, well-drained soil. But look at my flamethrower red bud. It's starting to flower. I'm very excited because that's also brand new. Then walking to the other side of the greenhouse, we have, some more cypresses, some more 9-barks. We've got some blushing lady tulips that are growing right now, some Sir Winston Churchill narcissus, daffodils growing. And then this is a small pine called Sarah Rachel, Eastern white pine. This stays nice and small, 4 by 2 after 10 years, very soft foliage. I love it. I've had it now here for a couple of years, and it's just wonderful. Brand new for me this year, Pinus mugo. This is called Sunshine, zones 2 through 8, so very hardy, bright, creamy yellow color in the spring. And so really pretty variegation, very slow growing. I put in 3 of them where I took out the spireas, and I've got a plan to put some kind of annual, I think, or ground cover there in the front, in front of the oak leaf hydrangeas there. New last year, this is a Norway spruce called Poosh, Picea abes. Gets only about 2 feet high, 3 feet wide, loves full sun. It was actually a conifer of the year 2008. Nice slow growing Norway spruce, loads of bright purple red cones in the spring, and the tiny cones brown out as they age, but really pretty rounded spreading dwarf conifer. Very, very hardy, likes moist, well-drained soil. Zone 3, and then I've got some taller evergreens behind it. Now here, this sky pencil holly, these can get 6 to 8 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet wide. Jim Putnam always says, cut these, keep them in control. Otherwise, they really do start flopping, but a really nice tall columnar form. Evergreen, which is really nice. Again, very popular. You see them all over. So I happen to see these at a nursery. So beware, if you want to keep them short, you're going to have to cut on them, which is not a big deal. They really like full sun, and they're hardy zones 5 through 9. Like I said, I saw these at a garden center, so I thought I'd show you a picture. Now these two I'm going to show you look pretty similar. Dobbs frosted juniper only gets 2 feet by 4 feet wide, zones 4 through 9. Really nice. And then I have right next to it a Chinese juniper called Gold Star, and this one gets 4 feet by 6 feet wide. But they're both with that really pretty yellow gold, spreading prostrate habit, sun to part shade. Again, they're both zones 4 through 9. And I just put these in last year, but I'm loving them. Right in front of my Heptacodium 7 Sun, which is looking really good now. And then I'm starting to get some Pinky Winkies right here that are starting to leaf out. So let's walk over here by the raised beds. Got some feverfew coming up. So you can see here's a small pine called Smidity, Bosnian pine. Gets 16 inches by 24 inches, but really in 10 years. Full sun, zone 5, very definitely like a miniature globe shape. And this has been, I moved this here, but I've had it for about 2 years now. I've got potatoes surrounding it. You see garlic in the background there. Again, feverfew potatoes. I've got Yukon Golds and red Pontiacs, I believe, which is kind of nice. I got some snapdragons that seem to have overwintered, which is kind of funny. Something's digging around in this bed, though. I'm not exactly sure why. The feverfew looks good, and I've planted a bunch more of that. And just waiting for it to warm up till I can put the rest of the annuals in these things. The garlic's doing really well. Again, more potatoes over here. Here's a cryptomeria, definitely not, a dwarf evergreen, even though I actually ordered a dwarf. That's not exactly a dwarf. What are you going to do? Pine. So nothing really small back in this area. An Ilex steeds there in the background. Again, nothing really small back here. Still getting to cleaning up beds. This bed hasn't even been touched. There's some pretty stuff back here. Tiarellas, epimediums, and some alliums are starting, which is kind of nice. Still have some Mount Hood daffodils, Allium ostara. Again, this is a Tiarella. Epimedium, Roseum, I think is the name of that one. I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure which ones. Another epimedium. They're so pretty. I mean, if you don't have them, plant more of them. Bleeding hearts. I had a white one, but that didn't make it. I don't know what happened to that. And sort of one or two lone tulips in this bed. The ferns are coming up. Pretty hostas. So you can see that there are a lot of options for evergreens, for small evergreens. This is Brobeck's Tower. It does get kind of tall, so I didn't include that. But right now, of course, it's very small because I just got it. And then farther down in this bed, I have a juniper called Pencil Point. This stays very small, 3.5 feet tall by 1 foot wide. And very columnar, dwarf, zones 2 through 8. Like I said, very common pencil point juniper. And I just wanted a little accent there. My Weigela is looking pretty good. Everything's looking pretty good for the most part. You can see in the back there the new gen boxwood. I'll get around to it on the other side. Solomon's seal, looking really pretty. So here's another new gen Freedom Boxwood, it's called. And they are pretty fast growing. Now boxwoods, of course, you can shape. So this is hardy in zones 5 through 8, gets like 4 by 4. And I have a few of these, and I have a few different boxwoods. Then you can see the astilbes in this bed. It still has some tete-a-tete daffodils, heuchera, hellebores. So right down here, I have a brand new little cypress called Celtic Pride or Celtic Pride, a Siberian cypress, easy, fast-growing evergreen, thrives in sun or partial shade, nice, soft, feathery foliage that turns copper in the fall, sort of a ground cover, which is nice, zones 2 through 7, and only gets like 1 to 3 feet tall and maybe 4 to 6 feet wide. As I mentioned, I have some other boxwoods. So this is the Sprinter boxwood. Can get as high as 4 by 4, but again, you could keep it anywhere. You could keep it down to 2 by 2 if you wanted to, which is kind of really nice. So great hardiness, 5 through 9. And it's a fast growing evergreen, which is really nice. You can shape it if you want. I have it in a few different places, and then I also have winter gem. So I'm trying a bunch of different boxwoods. The winter gems can get a little bit taller, like 4 to 6 feet, but again, you can, trim them up. I think this one has a little bit of tip damage. We had some freezing nights after I cut some of these back and shaped them, but best laid plans. That's gardening for you. You just can't win. So just, a look at my new Stewardia bed over here. And then underneath the hawthorn, the hawthorns, things are looking good. So I have a couple of tater tot arborvitaes. These are just so cute. Zones 3 through 8 on these little guys. And they only get like maybe 2 feet tall. They're really lovely, really nice, tiny globe, fan-like evergreen foliage, very tolerant of shade, which is really nice. Very easy to care for, and obviously grown for their foliage. Part sun to sun. Again, zones 3 through 8 on the tater top arbs. Also underneath, we have some geraniums. We have some primrose. These are so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love them. Now, not everything stays small. This is going to get, bigger. This is a thread branch cypress, so I didn't include this one. But this is the hawthorn bed, and I expanded this bed last year to add some more evergreens. So this is a dwarf blue spruce called Luddeby's dwarf. Really pretty steel blue needles, short, horizontal, layered stems, nice wide, wider than tall habit, so like 2 by 3. Loves full sun, and this is hardy down to zone 2. I've got to say my new favorite is the mini twist Eastern white pine, zone 3, broad upright, can get 6 by 4. Great fit though for a smaller landscape with the twisted curvy needles and an unusual texture. It can be pruned, which will encourage, a more compact, full foliage small tree. I love this. I absolutely love the mini twist. I've put in 2 more, and they're really tiny right now because I just bought some small ones. This was more of a full-size one. Another brand new one. You can see I got 2 Yellow Point Mugo pines. They can get 3 by 3, zones 2 through 8. So the tips are yellow tipped. So you have that really nice bright color up at the top. Again, I was looking, I had a viburnum, snowball viburnum that I had to pull out of here because the nine barks were just suffocating it. But this is really pretty. Looking forward to these growing. And right next to them, I have, another boxwood. I don't even remember what this is. I've had it a long time. But in between there, I have a Japanese holly called Soft Touch. Again, they only get 2 by 3. They've been here for years, and they've never gotten any bigger. They like full sun. They're very adaptable. And no issue with zone. They're pretty much hardy almost everywhere. So again, more sprinter boxwoods. Another Geraldo Hinoki cypress here. So you can see I've added these Hinoki cypresses in quite a few different places around the yard because they're so pretty. I love the ferny foliage. So kind of a new favorite beyond the mini twist pines, of course. I'm adding lots of ajuga to the garden, so I'm adding a lot more ground covers, trying to suppress some of the weeds. We'll just have to see. Right now they're flowering, which is really nice. And then, this bed's got a lot of daylilies in it. Another Woodgelia, more daylilies. This is a juniper called Old Gold. I had this in a big container for a while. This is like 2 to 3 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet wide. And a really nice mounding habit. low maintenance. I really like that. And then here, I don't know what to tell you about this. This is a pine called Bluebird. It's a blue-white pine, but I don't really have any other information about it. It gets 3 by 4.5 feet wide. The leucogyms are blooming, which is nice. Kind of waited a while for those. Look at the pretty needles on this pine. But I bought it at a show, and I think it's called a Sydney Waxman introduction, but I don't know anything about Sydney Waxman, so I can't tell you anymore. And then the other last one I have is a slow mound mugo pine. Can get 4 feet by 6 feet wide. Hardy down to zone 2, another globe shape, full sun. So you can see I have a trending habit here, and I see a big vole hole underneath it. There's another sprinter boxwood. So you can see the things that I've been adding. Now I saw at a nursery, this is a dense spreading yew, Taxus densiforma. And you know, this looked like something that would be nice, 3 by 6, hardy down to zone 4. Really valued for its foliage, color, and texture. A low spreading evergreen shrub. So I thought I would just grab a picture of 1 or 2 things that I didn't have in my own yard for you guys. So this was one that I saw at a local nursery. And the other one that I saw was a Picea pungens globosa. This is hardy down to zone 3. I love the blue colors on these things. Full sun, can get, 30 to 36 inches tall and wide. So another beautiful specimen if you're looking for a small focal point, evergreen maybe, accent. Nice slow growth rate, which is what's really nice about some of these small dwarf evergreens. Again, I saw this particular one at a local nursery also. So everything else I'm going to show you is just kind of a walk around the garden of what's happening right now, and I'll keep you updated. So you can see here, like the peonies are really kind of, going crazy. So I'm just gonna, shut up and let you look at the beautiful flowers, like cover image right here with Delnashaw daffodils.